Welcome to another full week of training. We are 56 days out. That's 8 weeks out from Ironman Wales. I'm currently in race week for an Olympic distance, so the T100 London. Really looking forward to that. So join me this week for a full week of training. No taper. I'm just going to take the T100 as a bit of a hard session rather than necessarily a race specifically. Still going to fuel it, still going to have the right mindset towards it, but not necessarily going to drop the volume because bigger picture, still got Ironman Wales as the main thing to crack on with. So today kicking off with an hour easy, so let's get it. Over the next 8 weeks I need to lock in. Now that saying locking in it's been kind of tarnished, but I love it as a phrase because it kind of redefines all or nothing. And I know when it comes to how I like to approach things, it nearly always isn't all or nothing approach. Is where I get the most out of myself. So 40 minutes into this easy run, feeling pretty good. Definitely feeling the difference of a good couple of kilos on my frame. What do I mean by that? So I now weigh 104.3 kilos. I kind of let my carb up for my last race go a little bit crazy and continued over the past week and a half. So yeah, not ideal. So this heavier frame now has a lot more work to do. And just like that, an hour easy run done. It's 11.5k, averaging a 5 minute 12 kilometer pace and with an average heart rate of 146. So pretty happy with those stats. Felt pretty good. My right foot where the blister from the race from running with no shoes, I put a picture on the screen. Yeah, still I can kind of feel it. It's definitely more tender on the right than the left, but kind of just get on with it, get through it, and try and harden the skin as quickly as possible. So gonna get myself home now, get myself in the cold tub, then I've got a couple of clients, and then off into the city to the gym. Gonna get a good lift in, a bit of full body work, focusing mainly on the upper body, but get some squats and some hinging done. So I'll see you there. So just here down at the gym now and going to get my strength session in for the day. Won't do anything too crazy, mainly because I'm obviously racing on the weekend, but I do still want to get a good solid pump. So let's get cracking and see what I get up to. Session done. Really good, really nice full body session. Actually got a good squat and hinge, got those exerters from the floor in, they felt really good. Got in some really good single leg deadlifts as well, getting a nice little stretch, get some balance work, which was really important. Also got some pushing and pulling with the bench and the rows. Finished off there with arms, so dips and preacher curls. So solid session all around. Tomorrow bike day. So just getting into today's bike session. It's actually the first bike session I've done since the 70.3. Not too sure why I couldn't really get my head in the game last week to get on the bike. Still suffering with some chafage and some discomfort, but I think they're just excuses really, if I'm honest. So today's session is going to be 4 lots of 6 minutes, and those 6 minute intervals are going to be at around 290 to 300 watts roughly. So going to see how I'm going to get on with that. This week I'm not tapering for the race. I said to my coach that I don't really want to taper for the Olympic distance try. For me, I see that triathlon as kind of just a bit of fun. It's local, and yeah, there's a time that I want to try to achieve. I want to try and get sub 3 hours, because every time I've done one it's always been over. So sub 3 hours is the goal, but I'm also not too stressed. It's more I want to kind of practice the transitions, the feelings, those sort of bits. So yeah, if I don't get a specific time, yeah, I'll be a little bit annoyed, but at the same time, I'm not too stressed. This is just for a bit of fun. I think that's just me kind of giving myself a way out if I don't achieve sub 3. So I'm just going to commit to it. My goal is sub 3. That's what I want. That's what I'm going to work for. So let me get into today's session. I'm going to get through the primer section of this, and then I'll touch base with you probably after my first 6-minute interval. 3 rounds down, 1 to go. It's amazing all the excuses I'm trying to come up in my head to just sag off this last one. I've got to get to work, I'm racing on the weekend, I've already done a good amount of work, I've already been on the bike for an hour. All these excuses, they mean nothing. Just got to get my head down and get through this last one. That last round, I had to really mentally get my head in the game, but it's done. 4 lots, 6 rounds, all of them over 300 watts. I think all of them were 305 watts to 310, somewhere like that. I'll put the information up on the screen. In those kind of workouts, all you want to do is stop, but it's these kind of workouts that really help strengthen that mindset. The ones that when you're going up a climb and you want to stop, you know you just have to dig in. So my favorite kind of workouts, I hate them, really hate them, but I know they're just so good for you. So I skipped the last 5-minute cool down after that section. I'm just doing the actual 5-minute cool down. Gonna get this 5 minutes done. I'm gonna shower and get to work, and tomorrow, swim day. So we're down at Stratford now for a swim. We've got 2,000 meters on the cards today. So I've got a bit of a warm up and then some 50s at a good hard effort, some 100s and then some 200s. So I'm going to also be playing around with snorkel and fins in this one, mainly because I just want to start to look at my technique, because swimming is a lot about technique, and at the moment I just feel I'm just hitting the water and just enduring it, and it's not really working. So what I'm going to do is give myself the opportunity to kind of review what I'm doing, watch my arms, see if I'm getting a good elbow catch and pull, and then go from there. So let's hit the pool. I'll see you after and let you know how it goes. Done. 2,200 meters, decent. Whew, that was decent. 2,200 meters and went by pretty fast. The fins definitely made a big difference, obviously. They probably gave me about 15-20 seconds per 100 meters faster, so just shows how much I struggle to use my legs with my normal swim. They did kind of really help me kind of have a little bit more of a conscious thought about using the legs, but I did notice I didn't then suddenly get loads faster in the next set. But it was really good, really kind of engaging in a way. It kind of meant that I was able to relax a little bit and still get a decent pace, which meant I was still moving through the water relatively fast, so my breathing still had to be on point. And yeah, really enjoyed using them, obviously, because it made me feel faster, so it made me feel better. So it's a bit of an ego stroke, but overall really good. I've still got a run to do today a little bit later, but we're going to see what we can do there, because it is summer holidays for the kids, so it just means that we need to kind of navigate that. So the run might happen, it might not, we'll see. So I might see you there. Absolutely love it, feeling relatively energized, and now out for the second session of the day. So an hour's run with 3 5-minute tempo efforts, so nothing too crazy. The actual pace is quite chilled, probably about a 5:20, 5 sort of, yeah, I think about 5:20 pace. So let's get into it. Just like that, done. Cut it short slightly just because I've got to get to work for a client, but really happy with that. That was around 45 minutes-ish, 3 lots of 5 minutes at 4:40 pace, which felt pretty good, but I did feel a little bit heavier than normal, so probably because of the extra body weight at the moment. But overall, really happy with how that run went. So tomorrow, big bike session. So it's Thursday morning and it is 5:30. Getting ready now for this morning's bike session. I've got an hour and 15, I think it is, talk session. So it's focusing more around some seated climbs, kind of low cadence work. It's a tiny bit of a deload, but also race specific for Wales, since there's going to be a lot of climbing. So a little bit race specific there, even though my race this weekend is pretty flat, but it's still good to kind of get some good work through the legs. Got a nice little pre-workout of some watermelon and a flat white. Flat white didn't really go to plan. I didn't pay attention to the coffee machine, and the milk didn't really froth properly, but is what it is. It's still caffeine into my veins. Let's get this down me and then head up and get my bike session started. So I'm currently 37 minutes into this workout. I've only done 3 intervals of 2 minutes at like a low cadence. Not sure what it is, I just haven't got it in me today. I'm barely holding 180. Like, this is a fight. So I've had 2 gels and nothing's really picking me up. So I might just sack this off at the end of this. So in 2 minutes, at the end of this like middle section, it's just not worth it today. Oh, it's a shame, but it's part of prep. Not always going to have the best rides, the best runs and the best swims. Sometimes it's about just showing up, and then sometimes it's about sacking it off. Today's a sack it off day. Probably still a bit beaten up after yesterday. These are just excuses. Oh well. We'll move on to the next one. So it's 5:30 on Friday morning and I'm about to head out for an hour's easy run. So I'll probably cover about 10 to 12k. So today's pre-run fuel is some watermelon and a double espresso. Currently going through a bit of a watermelon phase. Really enjoying just smashing back a load of watermelon and some coffee first thing in the morning. So I'm going to get myself ready to go and I'll head out. So I'll catch you there. Oh, so far halfway, just over 30 minutes in. So now turning around and heading back. Bit of a tough one today. Mentally just struggling, kind of think carrying on from yesterday, but just got to get the head right, get myself head down and get into it. So I've got a race on Sunday, so I've got to make sure I'm getting the most out of all these sessions and then the most out of the recovery. So let's finish this session strong. Oh, and just like that, race week is now complete. Finished off there with a 10k run with an average of 5 minutes 12 per kilometer and a 147 heart rate average. So happy with that. Felt okay. If I'm very honest, it was a bit of a chore to kind of stick to it. 50 odd minutes there, 51 minutes. Kind of felt like 51 minutes. I didn't really ever get into that groove of just running and feeling light on the feet. Definitely felt heavy today. The only thing left to do now is rest up and get the body right for Sunday. So I've got to check my bike in tomorrow at the XL, ready for Sunday, and then tomorrow is the carb up. So I'm not doing a couple day carb up with this race because it is just an Olympic distance and I don't need as much of a carb up because I've definitely got plenty of carbs in my body. So we're going to have a big day of carbs. As I said, carb up, drop bike off tomorrow, and then get the body right for Sunday for an all-out sprint, essentially, as hard as I can. So we'll see what that entails. So thanks a lot for watching this full race week, getting me ready for T100 Olympic distance in London. See you in the next video.